Good afternoon. My name's Taddy Hall. I'm a senior partner in the innovation practice at Lippincott. Really enjoyed being with the Consumer Goods Forum today, the SpringBoard Fresh event. What I was trying to do in my session was to help the attendees see things with new eyes. By way of analogy, in the study of scientific revolutions, Thomas Kuhn, who wrote the most cited work in the social sciences, The Structure of Scientific Revolutions, what he discovered was that most scientific breakthroughs aren't the product of new technology. It's actually experimenters who are being able to look at things that people have looked at for a long time, but to see with new eyes and miss things that other people are seeing. So when Louis Pasteur came up with the discovery that it's microbes that cause disease and developed his theory of germs, that's actually what makes people sick, he wasn't using new technology or some new invention. He simply was using existing devices to look at old problems in new ways. And so what we did with the group today was essentially to think in a different way about what business are we actually in. And what typically we find in our work is that executives think of the business they're in. If they're asked that question, what business am I in? They answer with a pretty detailed list of the products that they serve or the services that they offer and who they might sell those things to. But what we found is while that's descriptive and it's not wrong, it's not really the most helpful understanding or way to answer the question, what business am I in? A more useful way to think about it, and this is what we were exploring at the event today, is let's identify a specific customer. And that customer is in a specific circumstance. And they're struggling to make some progress and to create some desired experience. And so earlier, for example, we heard from one participant who was talking about his Friday night dinner. And he often has a Friday night dinner with his son. And typically, they do a frozen pizza. And as he was saying, you know, it's 10 minutes to make it, 10 minutes to eat it, and 20 minutes we're done. And just recently, he called his son and he said, gosh, you know what? I'm not feeling like pizza tonight. Tell me what's in the fridge before I come home, and if we need to pick some things up, I'll get them on the way home. Son looks in the fridge, nothing. Just a basket of apples. So in the event, our friend stops at the grocery store, decides to buy 2 nice tuna steaks, some vegetables to make a salad, and a dough to make a pie with the apples. He gets home. He also bought in his store a new wine label that he knew was just launched. So he brings all these things home. The long and the short of it is he and his son end up spending the better part of 2 hours preparing this meal together, sharing a much longer period of time together. And he tells it with real love and joy in his eyes. And it was discovered almost an accident because he was tired of pizza. He found that if he actually made a more complicated meal preparation, he could create a better experience of talking and sharing and enjoying time with his son. And so we told a number of different experiences of people actually trying to make progress in their lives. For example, we talked about the produce section. What would it feel like if we actually brought the farm experience into the store? How might we be able to connect the farm with the store? One of the participants is actually starting to experiment with an idea of if you, the consumer and the shopper, could give a tip to the person who actually picked those bananas, would you be willing to give them a tip? Would that be something you would value and be able to establish that connection with the person who actually picked the bananas? That's the type of experimenting and learning, seeing through new eyes. Another one of the participants was talking about his phobia of going to the fish counter. And that when his wife asks him to go to the fish counter, he always comes up with excuses why he can't go to the fish counter. And so that led us to thinking about, well, how might we experiment around that particular circumstance of struggle? And what we found through this exercise and this activity is that the real locus of innovation isn't the attributes of products or necessarily how we lay out the store. The real essential unit of innovation work, not product attributes or service dimensions. The real unit of innovation is the circumstance in which a person is struggling to make progress and create a desired experience, whether that's a fish dinner for the family or a special evening shared with your son. If we can identify those circumstances in which people are struggling to make progress, we can see that the opportunity for innovation is much broader than we once thought it was. And it's just those types of experiences that we're exploring to open the aperture for innovation and growth with the group at SpringBoard Fresh today. So it was a really fun session, an amazing group, very engaging, smart minds sharing great ideas, and lots of fun.